It is January 2024, and we're always talking about different ways that we can get people into homes, home purchase. And we want to talk about HECM loans. And I know you've heard a lot about reverse mortgages, but I want to have you talk to one of the best experts about this. And we'll let him introduce himself, how long he's been in business, and floor is yours, sir.
All right, my name is Scott Schrager. I'm with the owner team powered by Nationwide Mortgage Bankers over here in Melville, New York. I've been in the business for over 30 years, and I do specialize in reverse products. I believe wholeheartedly in the product. I've put my own family members into the product, so I have a soft heart for it. That's what I do. So where do you want me to start as far as with the reverse mortgages?
Let's talk about yourself. Let's talk about yourself first, and then we'll get into the product.
Okay,
You've been
great.
in the business. You
So
have a team.
I've been in the business for over 30 years, and basically I've done every aspect of the business banking world along with the brokering. I started out my career as a mortgage broker. I sat on the board of directors as the president-elect for the NYAMB. I always believed in giving back to my industry that allotted me to make such a nice living and be with some quality people. So I believe in that wholeheartedly. I also was a partner in Contour Mortgage Bankers, one of 3 other partners, and so I got to learn every aspect of the banking world. Right now, I'm with the owner team and Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, where I'm running a small mortgage team over here. I'm a processing manager as far as producing sales manager over here. So I write my own loans and I troubleshoot everybody else's.
Okay, so you're the head muckety muck when it comes to getting things done.
I'm the expert. 30 years. I'm a dinosaur in this business, my friend. Dinosaur.
Experienced dinosaur. Experience.
Listen, experience is very important to be in this business.
How would you say experience and get rid of the word dinosaur?
All right, sounds good to me.
All right, so we got an experienced person here. Now let's talk about what do you want to talk about? What do you want to let the people know that they don't know about a HECM loan or reverse mortgage?
Well, because let's talk about the purchase world right now, because that's the hot topic, and that's something that is dear to your heart as far as selling houses. So what I like to do is I want to talk about the HECM reverse loans for purchase. A lot of people don't know that you could even buy a house using a reverse mortgage. And let's talk about some of the things that you need to do in order to qualify for this. Number one, you have to be at least 62 years of age, okay? It could qualify for a 1 to 4 family primary house. It cannot work with any investor homes, okay?
You have to be living in the property.
You have to be living in the house for at least 6 months and a day, okay? One of the things and the advantage of doing a reverse mortgage, it works just like a forward mortgage would do, except for instead of making a mortgage payment every single month, you actually don't make any mortgage payments alone. And the equity that you have built up in that house, because you're putting down a higher amount of money. This is a great program for people that are downsizing. So I find a lot of people that are in their, let's say, early or mid 70s that have the house that's elevated valuation to, $800,000-$900,000. Now we're looking to buy a $450,000 house. So instead of putting down, 20% and then having to pay a mortgage payment every single month this stage of their life, what we do is we offer them the reverse mortgage. And now what that does is out of, let's say, a $500,000 house, okay, they only put down $250,000. I'll write them a reverse mortgage for the additional $250,000. They never have to make another mortgage payment again. And all they're doing is they're living off of the equity in the property. Now, the advantage of doing this, because you'll say, hey, they're going through all this equity. Yes, but the advantage is instead of taking the $800,000 and tying it up in the new house, now what they're doing is they're only putting down $250,000 out of the $800,000. Now they could take the other $550,000 that they just made, cash money, give it to their financial advisor, and they could do some kind of vehicle that's going to allot them and help pay money dividends back to them. And
it frees up the money, so if they need health care, or traveling, or anything like that, basically
anything that they want to do, help the family, anything. They want to do home repairs, they need anything at all. Now they have a large, substantial amount of money, liquid, backing them up. Whereas before, everything was tied up in the house.
Let's talk about qualifications.
They have to be 62 years of old. The minimum person in the house has to be 62 at this point. Okay. So we're talking about 62 years of age. Okay. I'm just talking about New York law right now. That's
Mhm.
basic. There's other states that you could be younger and everything, but let's just talk about, bird's eye view right now for New York. 62 years of age, primary person living in the house. You have to have very little income just to qualify. It only has to qualify based on income for taxes and insurance because you are going to be required to pay taxes and insurance separately from the reverse mortgage. If you chose to put it into the mortgage, it can be, but it becomes very technical and a little bit more, in depth that I don't want to go into right here on this podcast. But
Let's just say to cover our behinds, please speak to your professional, your financial professional, before you
thank you.
make any moves.
Thank you. I appreciate
Continue.
that. So I said 62 years old, primary residence. You have to have the money, obviously, from the sale of the other house. Okay, so you're going to be vacating the other premise. So when that other house closes, that's when you'll be moving into this house. Unless you were going to rent out the other property and you could show substantially why you're moving out of it, motivation, if you will.
Okay.
You don't always have to sell the other house. If you have a lot of cash, you're just looking to buy another property and you're truly looking to relocate to another state or another area, it's possible to do that too.
So I'm just running a scenario. Parents have a house. It's a couple of floors, and they can't do the upstairs anymore. They choose to get a condo or co-op, and they keep the other property, where they take the reverse mortgage from that to purchase the other property, and they leave the other.
Correct. As long as we could put a lease in place or something to prove that no one's living there, that
Mhm.
that the people that were doing the reverse mortgage, that this is going to be their primary house that they're moving
Yeah.
into, that's the key right there. And now you touched on something very important. Going back, I want to say not even 5 months ago, they just came out with a new product for reverse mortgages for co-ops. We were never able to do
Listen.
them on co-ops, and now we
Okay.
can. Okay. The caveat to that is co-ops can be very small loan amounts. So you have to have at least a $200,000 loan amount for a reverse mortgage. That's the
Okay.
only thing that the bank wants to do. There are
Do you
not a
want to
lot.
dive deeper on that, or basically?
It follows pretty much the same rules.
Mhm.
Okay. It is an FHA, it's a proprietary program for one of the investors that we actually sell this loan out to. We don't service this one. And we expect to have more people jumping into this arena in the future. But right now, there's really one main investor that's buying all these co-op loans up for reverse. So let's, the bird's eye view is just follow the same rules as we would for a regular reverse mortgage at this point.
Okay. All right. Now, what's something that basically?
Okay. So basically, the biggest misconception that people think is that you're going to lose your house at the end of the day. Understand something. The reverse mortgage is a government backed loan. It's an FHA backed loan, and what the whole idea and the premise behind it is allowing you to age gracefully in your home. So you're not being uprooted. Okay. So that's on a typical reverse mortgage. And the same thing if you were doing it as a purchase. You get to live the rest of your life out in that property. Okay.
Okay.
So you're never losing the deed. The deed is always going to stay in your name. Nobody else is ever going to be joined on there with you. And the fact being, a lot of people get confused at the end of their parents. God forbid they pass away and there's no one left. Now, what do the heirs have to do? It's very simple. You just call up the servicer and you say, hey, just like you would on a forward mortgage, this is what my intention is of the house. I'm either going to keep the house and buy my siblings out and refinance it out, or I'm going to be selling it, but it might take 6 months in order to probate it. So please bear with us and I'll keep you in the loop and tell you exactly how we're progressing as it goes along.
All right, you just said something that's very key, whether it's forward mortgage or reverse mortgage or anything that you're doing. You're dealing with financing, you're dealing with real estate. Communication is the key. I cannot stress that enough. You have to be open to the professional that you hired. They cannot help you if you're not completely 100% on the board. Let them know what's going on with you, what's going on with your family, what the situation is. If you can give us a clear picture of what's going on, we have more tools that we can utilize and help you. You might not fit in column A. We won't know that unless you tell us everything. You tell us everything, we'll know A, B, C, D, or maybe E might be the best fit for you. But we'll have more options. We'll be better suited to help you. If you're
Absolutely, because it's not cookie cutter what we do. Everybody has their own specific situations. And obviously, like you said, experience is very important because we both have been in the business for a long time. So we've seen a lot of different scenarios and we've troubleshot a lot of these things. So we got to go back to our Rolodex of in our mind and say, hey, this is how we handled this in the past.
That's one of the key purposes why we're putting these video series together, just to give people some options so they know, hey, you know what? Like you said, it's not cookie cutter. It is kind of difficult to purchase, but basically there are options. That's what I want the main fact for people to understand. There are options out there. You just have to look and find a professional that can guide you in the right direction. And you have many options, and that's what the key of these series is about. And before we go any further, people are hearing all this and they're like, all right, this might, how do they
Yeah.
reach you?
They reach me at 516-790-9475. My direct email also is sschrager at nmbnow.com. That's Schrager at nmbnow.com.
Well, I call this person.
24 hours a day. Money doesn't sleep.
I like that. And I don't think we need to go any further than that. I just want to tell people basically, look, we got options. Make sure you're talking to the right people. If the people you're talking to are not giving you options, then you know who to look for. You can reach out to Scott. You can reach out to me basically when it comes to real estate stuff. With that being said, we hope you got some value out of this. Feel free to reach out to us. You got a scenario you want to discuss, talk to us. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. It's
I
words of
appreciate,
encouragement.
I appreciate the opportunity to be out here to educate. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm here to educate because at the end of the day, you're going to make your own intelligent decisions based on the information that we provide. I appreciate the opportunity and the forum, Evans. Thank you.